Going on, guys? All right, Alton here doing another video, and what I want to kind of do in this video is that I want to do a little compare and contrast against Christianity and the Black conscious community. Now, for all of you guys who've been following me probably about the past couple of weeks or so, you guys know that now I'm getting ready to address a lot of the things that are going on in the Black conscious community, how I call it a cancer, because that's what it is. It's a cancer to the Black community, and it's a very dangerous ideology. People are becoming lost listening to this so-called Black consciousness. Okay, they claim to be awakened and all of that stuff, but it's actually the total opposite. And if you guys been watching my videos, you know that I've been addressing a lot of these fallacies that these guys have been bringing up when it comes to, just simple things. Looking at how these guys try to bring up certain information that's just totally inaccurate. Like the Council of Nicaea is one of their biggest things, 325 AD, all of that stuff. I've been addressing that. But anyway, the reason why I'm actually starting to go after the Black conscious movement is, number one, like I said before, it's a cancer. And basically the Black conscious movement is about, it doesn't make men step up. It's just this movement, it's this cult-like mentality that makes men, how can I put this? It makes them very emotional, and it doesn't teach men to be strong, to be providers of the household. It doesn't teach accountability for the man and the woman. It basically just teaches people how to blame someone else for their own shortcomings and their own bad decision making. I mean, when you look at these guys, a lot of these guys, they don't have jobs. They're not bringing home money to help take care of the house. Like a lot of these Black conscious guys who claim to be so conscious, when you look at their household, it's in total disarray. There is no organization. There is no structure, because number one, these guys, they reject authority. That's why they don't want to associate with the Bible. See, that's why they can't deal with the Bible, because see, God holds men to a standard, okay? He holds men, especially when it comes to the household. The man is supposed to be the head of the household, and that man is the one who is responsible for his wife and his children and how things are to operate inside of the household. And it challenges men to actually step up and be men. But with the Black conscious community, or this theology, it basically teaches men the opposite, that you don't have to step up and be a man, okay? You don't really have to take care of your household. And no matter how much these guys try to make it seem like that they're promoting this is the reason why you see a lot of these guys, they don't have jobs, they're not taking care of the household. It's because the Black conscious community has taught them to approach everything from an emotional standpoint. Everything that you do, or anything that happens to you, you need to address it emotionally. And what it teaches guys, it teaches these guys in particular how to reject authority. Don't submit yourself under authority. Become your own authority. Well, the problem with that is that if you have that type of mentality and someone else has that type of mentality, and they have opposite views of you, then who is right? I have a certain type of morality or certain type of values that I live by, and a guy over here has a different set of values, then who's right, me or that guy? You know, it's like I stated in my other videos, you know, that's why guys like, Brother Polite, Umar Johnson, Sonetter, and this, the other guy, what is it, Young Pharaoh or Pharaoh Allah, that's why all of these guys are clashing, because all of these guys have basically set up systems, and they've set up ways to govern their lives, their own lives, and all of these guys have different ways of doing it. So that's why you got cliques over here and clans over here, and they're always bumping heads. Another thing that it does is that when it comes to being held accountable, it tells men that someone else is accountable for their own shortcomings. It doesn't teach men to say, hey, listen, no matter what happens to you, you need to get up and you need to take care of your household. When you make bad decisions and you make mistakes, you need to brush that off, and you need to get back on track. Realize what your mistakes are. And that's basically what the Bible teaches us as men, to be accountable. That's why one of the first commandments that Jesus gives in the Bible is to deny yourself. It's self-denial. Put aside what you want. Follow him in his way. Follow Christ in his way, because his way is right. Every other way, anything that contradicts that is wrong. But the Black conscious community, they don't want to live by that. And that's why they have so many problems. That's why majority of the women in the household are working. The men aren't. The woman is the one bringing in the money. Some of these guys have multiple baby moms. Now some of these guys are kind of dabbling into polygamy, trying to have 2 and 3 women and all of that stuff, which is basically a cult-like mentality. Now, the Bible does talk about polygamy, but God never made it for man to be in polygamous relationships. And the men who chose to go against God's will and had more than one wife, they always ended up with problems. There's always so many problems that stem from that. But these guys are trying to move into that type of lifestyle, especially with the polygamy and all of that stuff, to fulfill their sexual desires. And that's basically all it is. But basically what these guys are doing is basically new age pimping. That's what it is. When you look at this guy, Brother Polite, it's basically new age pimping. You go out and you get all of these young girls and you put them up in your house, and these females are probably out working, making the money. He's probably using their names to open up bank accounts and certain accounts and all of that stuff. So it's just like, with the whole PayPal situation that was going on with Brother Polite, and he gets on live and he's talking about, he calls up PayPal because I guess he's trying to basically punk the guy who is on PayPal, who's on the other line. He's trying to talk all reckless to this guy, but when the guy gets on the phone, he's talking to the woman first, and and then Polite basically says, well, yeah, my wife has a PayPal account set up in her name, but it's supposed to be for your organization. You see what I'm saying? So it's little stuff like that you really got to pay attention to, that you really got to catch on to. But see, the thing is that even though the Christian household has, or the Christian community, I should say, the Christian community has its own set of problems, but we have a reference point, which is the Bible. And that's why when you read the Bible, you can tell who is living in the will of God and who isn't. It's just basically cut and dry. And when a man actually reads the Bible and he actually sees the way God has ordained his life, then he can be able to step up and take care of his family, and his family follows suit. Prime example is, look at the way that this country here in America, people like to sit back and bash Christianity and all of this stuff. But if it wasn't for Judeo-Christian value, a lot of these guys wouldn't be able to lay up on these women and have these women go out and take care of everything while they just lay up and make YouTube videos or go out and do some little hustle or something. They wouldn't be able to do that. You can't go do that in a Muslim society. You can't do that under Sharia law. You can't do that under these other countries' cultures. You can't do that. Everyone else understands that the man is very important in the household. But see, the thing is that these guys, they want to put themselves under someone who is going to tap into their emotions. Someone who is going to tell them that it is because of someone else that you're not out working. It's because of someone else that you're not taking care of your family. That's why whenever you see men, like real men who actually get up, go to work, work a 9 to 5, bring home the bacon, take care of their business, these guys don't have time to listen to these guys like Brother Polite and Sonetta and all of these guys, because they're too busy taking care of business. See, men tend to think logic, okay? This is the way that a man operates. If a man is going to go buy some shoes, he's looking at the durability, he's looking at the texture, he's also looking at the price, and how can he make some money back by purchasing those shoes. Now, I'm not saying that men, I like to go out and buy nice shoes, but you better believe if I'm going to spend some good money on a pair of shoes, I'm going to make sure that they're going to last. These are going to be shoes that I'm probably going to have for 10, 12 years before they actually start to go bad. But when you're basing your life off of emotion, so you're going to go out and you're going to spend the $200-$300 on a pair of Jordans just so someone else can see it and say, oh, that guy has a nice pair of shoes. Or you're going to go out and spend your money on a bunch of clothes and jewelry and a bunch of stuff that really doesn't make sense, or it's not going to benefit the house. But in the black conscious community, see, that type of stuff is okay. That type of stuff is okay because you got a guy that's telling you that your emotions matter. It really doesn't. And it's sad because you got a lot of people, a lot of black people who are in the church who are kind of moving over into this type of mindset, and it's very sad. When we read the Bible, what does the Bible say about a man? It says that a man should leave his mother and father and find himself a wife. And the Bible also says that when a man finds a wife, he findeth a good thing. A lot of men are not being taught that. A lot of men are being taught continue to stay with grandma, mom. I mean, it's mind-boggling that I can go out and I can see some of these guys, they're like, in their mid-20s. I mean, and they're just content. They're comfortable. And they don't care about staying at home under mama's wing, especially if it's a single woman. But that's why, majority of these guys, they'll run to Black conscious movement because a lot of these people that are there, especially the men, they've been raised by their moms. They didn't have a strong man in the household to tell them to say, hey, listen, no, you got to get up out of here. You're not going to sit around here and play video games and not work and take care of a family. You need to get up, take care of yourself. You're not just going to lay up here and just eat food all day and not contribute to the household because they have a problem with authority. These men in the Black community, they have a problem with authority. And they can't stand the fact that there is an almighty God that sits above space, above time, a God that sits out of the realm of time, and who decides who actually decides if a person is going to spend eternity with him, or separate from him. They can't imagine. They don't want someone to have that much control over. They want to be like children, living free, lawless, and all of this stuff here. So that's why, they make up these straw man emotional arguments against the Bible, because they're not going to go out and fact check that stuff. They just want to be able to rant and rave. And that's why, like, when you look at these guys, like Sonnetter, Polite, Umar Johnson, all of these guys, that's why their videos are like hours long. And I'm just like, dude, what do you have to talk about for 2 and 3 hours? And it's nothing but these emotional rants. They're just ranting and raving emotionally. And that's all they're doing is just talking about how they feel and how you should feel. And I challenge a man to get up and get out and say, hey, listen, go take care of your family. They'll say that stuff, but they don't really mean it. They only say that because the Black women basically are challenging them to kind of put the message out there to their sorry man that's sitting at home, hoping that their sorry man would get up and go to work. But it doesn't work because at the same time, these guys basically tell them, oh, you don't need to listen to authority. You're your own authority. But if you think about it, they mix that type of mentality in with their racist ideologies, and these dudes don't go out and work, and they're not going to go out and get a job because, let's just be real, majority of the supervisors or the CEOs and the owners of these companies are white people. So it's more likely that these guys are going to be subjected under a white supervisor, or there's going to be somebody white that's going to be in a position over them. So what they do is that they basically say, well, I'm not going to go out and work at some white man's job. I'll just basically stay here and try to hustle up whatever money I can. So you're trying to tell these guys to go out and get a job, but at the same token telling them that they are their own authority. It's not going to work. That's why I say it's a hustle. You have two totally contradicting mindsets, and that's what it is. You got one hand, you do what you want to do. On the other hand, you got to be responsible for your own actions. But they're not really going to teach that, because like I said, the only time they're really going to teach that is when these Black women who are tired of these guys sitting at home living off of them, then they'll turn around and write a book, or they'll come out with a video saying, oh, Black man, you got to do this, you got to do that. But in the same breath, you don't have to listen to anyone. You make your own way. You make your own path. And at the same time, reject the Bible, because the Bible is going to challenge you to be a real man. The Bible is going to challenge you to get out and work. The Bible says that if you are a guy who sits around and does nothing, you're a worthless man. Okay, you're worse than a sinner. To sit back and to live off of your woman, to put out false information, to bear false witness. You're worse than a sinner. To be a grown man tapped into your emotions. And that's what the Black conscious community is about. But I pray and I plead for Black men. If you are a Black man and you're starting to, and this is starting to become attractive to you, man, I pray with you, man. But I will give you some advice. Don't cross over into that. Don't. I mean, just all you got to do is watch the way these guys operate. It's a hustle. It's a con game, and it's all about emotion. and how to make people feel a certain way emotionally. But that's basically all I gotta say, man. Enough of my ranting and raving on that topic, man. But be a man, man up. Don't be scared of challenge, because we're not called to be scared of challenges. As a man, you want to accept a challenge with open arms. And the only theology that is going to challenge you on that is Christianity. It's going to challenge you to love. It's going to challenge you to love your wife, take care of your family, and to love others, and to kind of shut out BS. Kind of keep that stuff out of your house. It's going to challenge you to do all of those things. But, you know, like I said, you guys like, rate, share this video, thumbs up, and let me know what you, let me know if you got anything that you want to add or say in the comment section below. And as always, you guys have a blessed day.